The iPhone SE4 just might be the best value smartphone we've ever seen, and in this video, I want to talk about the latest leaks and rumors, as well as show you some exclusive renderings that you will not find anywhere else. We have been hearing so many good things about this product, and I just want to start off with what I'm most excited for, what it looks like, because Apple is finally changing the design, and here it is. This is your very first look at Apple's all-new iPhone SE4, which is a complete departure from everything we've really ever known about the iPhone SE. While historically, Apple's budget phone was based off of a super outdated design, like the current one is based off of a design that we saw in 2014, the iPhone SE4 adopts a more modern style of the iPhone 14. And here's what that actually means. The screen is being upgraded from 4.7 inches LCD to a new 6.1 inch OLED display. As OLED technology has become much cheaper to manufacture over the years, it's actually cost effective for Apple to put this in their budget model. And this display does still run at 60 Hz. We will not be seeing 120 Hz Pro motion on this, just because that is essentially one of Apple's most pro features if there ever was to be one. However, with the iPhone SE4 getting this new design, it means that Face ID will make its way to the model for the very first time. We will no longer be seeing Touch ID on any iPhone, especially because there isn't a home button on the iPhone SE anymore, and this will also make it feel so much more modern and quick compared to the old version. And the reason I'm so confident in saying all of this is this comes from Mac Rumors and a source that has been incredibly accurate for iPhone rumors. This source shared a ton of information that was accurate about the iPhone 15 months ahead of it launching, including USB-C. And on the iPhone SE4, we have confirmed with this report that USB-C will be on the SE4. This comes as Apple is moving away from Lightning on all of their products, but most importantly because when this phone releases next year, 2025, the EU is mandating USB-C on all phones sold there. So Apple's not going to release a Lightning version somewhere and USB-C somewhere else. They're just going to throw USB-C on here, which, makes sense. This is the first of a few major changes between the iPhone 14 design and the design of what will be the iPhone SE4. The next being the cameras on the back, as it seems like Apple really wants these to be the differentiator between their lowest end, middle tier, and highest end models. According to the leaks, the iPhone SE4 will have just a single camera on the back. The flash will be next to it, similar to the design of the current SE3, but it will just be one camera lens and likely 12 megapixels, but there have been some rumors that Apple could actually drop the 48 megapixel sensor on this new iPhone SE. Now, I am skeptical of that because giving the base phone that sensor just sounds insane on top of everything else Apple's upgrading. But hey, the regular iPhone 15 models that Apple sells also have the 48 megapixel sensor for the first time, and I didn't actually think we would ever see that. But rounding out the design, maybe the most interesting part here is that Apple is getting rid of the mute switch. On the iPhone SE4, it is said to be an action button, just like on the iPhone 15 Pro series, and likely what will be on all iPhone 16 models. And just like on the 15 Pros, it will be remappable to one of 8 or 9 different actions. You can still leave it to be the ring or silent switch, but you could also move it to something like translate or the camera or turning on your flashlight. I'm just really surprised that Apple is going to standardize that feature as base to Pro and not leave the mute switch on this, which is another departure from the iPhone 14 chassis. Now, before moving on with the rest of the video, just want to thank Harry's for sponsoring this one and for releasing the coolest razor I've ever seen. It's space black, just like Apple's new MacBook Pro, and it feels like a razor that Apple would make, with an ergonomic craft handle that feels perfect in your hand and an engravable razor stand that makes it even more personal. And the matte black razor is just the first part of the limited edition holiday gift set that also includes Harry's foaming shave gel for a rich lather and 3 German engineered blade cartridges for the best shave of your life. Really, the only part of this set that doesn't feel like Apple is the price. At just $30, it's the perfect gift for not only yourself, but maybe somebody else in your life. Or if you just want to give Harry's a try, at just $5, you can grab the starter set, which includes the same great blades as the other set, albeit with a bit of a more colorful handle that still feels great in your hand, and some foaming shave gel as well for a super clean look. The starter set is a $13 value that you get for just $5 when you go over to harrys.com/AppleTrack. And don't forget that other gift set is also available, but in a limited quantity, so you'll probably want to act fast as the holidays are almost here. Again, that's harrys.com/AppleTrack, or use code AppleTrack. Grab one of these starter sets today. Thanks to them for sponsoring. now let's get back to it. Now, moving on to colors for the iPhone SE 4, only one in this report has been confirmed. It sounds like black/midnight is going to definitely be an option on here, but we guess that Apple could also reuse the same white and red colors and potentially add a new blue option, although I would not be surprised at all if Apple just yet again did white, red, and black. They've been doing those colors since 2020, and I think it's a way to say, again, if you want the fun stuff, you gotta upgrade it to the 15 or 15 Pro. If not, you gotta get something more boring that's been around for a while. It's very subtle, but I think it could push a small amount of people to upgrade and spend more money if the boring colors are not what they want. But maybe the most exciting part of the iPhone SE 4, and to me the most necessary change, is not aesthetically how this design is going to make it look better and newer. It's the fact that with this update, Apple can put a larger battery on the inside. Because Apple's been using that 4.7-inch iPhone style design that initially came out in 2014, it's just so thin and light and small that you cannot put that large of a battery in there physically. With the larger body, Apple can put a much larger battery in here, and it's going to bring the iPhone SE out of like really not acceptable battery territory for $400 to decent or maybe even good or great. That is a huge change that I think alone would persuade a lot of people to either wait for that phone or buy it as soon as it comes out. But the battery news gets even better, because when Apple upgrades the A15 chip inside to something like the A16 or maybe even the 3nm based A17, it's going to accelerate the battery improvements even further. It's always impressed me that with the iPhone SE line, Apple puts the latest iPhone processor inside, which is pretty shocking for a budget model, but that is said to be the case yet again for the new iPhone SE 4. Okay, let's move on to cell performance now. So it's going to be a 5G phone because the current iPhone SE has 5G. All of Apple's stuff is transitioning to 5G. This phone could be the world's first to feature a custom designed Apple 5G modem. We have been hearing rumors about this for years at this point, and Apple even publicly acquired Intel's 5G modem division specifically a while back. And year after year, the new iPhones have come out and it still has a Qualcomm modem. We know Apple wants to own every part of the iPhone because that increases their margin and allows them to customize their performance specifically to their exact specs. Apple most prominently does this with the A series chips on the inside, but they also do parts like the Taptic engine. That is a custom Apple part made specifically for the phone, and the 5G modem on this SE4 could be the perfect test run for it. Apple wants to make sure something as fundamental as the modem would be absolutely perfect, so they don't really want to start it out on the major flagship iPhone, but rather something a little bit more smaller of a market, and that is the SE series. To be clear, we don't know for sure whether this is coming on the SE4. The rumors like every other week go back and forth. Apple's doing it in 2024. No, they're pushing back to 2026. No, it's happening in 2025. It's all over the place. But we know this is something Apple's been working on, and within the next couple of years, like, we are going to see it likely on the SE first. And speaking of timeframes and release dates, that is the big question here. When is Apple gonna release this? The sources, guys, are all over the place here. We've got some like Guominchi that said Apple had canceled this at one point and then said they restarted it and it is launching for sure in 2024. But others like Marco over at Mac Rumors say that it is not coming until 2025. That is what the current development is on track for. If I had to bet, I would say 2025 just because it sounds like Apple is doing a lot here, and at the end of the day, this is an updated iPhone 14 with different things. It's not just a one-to-one recycled old design like they did with past SEs. And with everything that Apple's changing, from the way it looks, from maybe new colors, the 48 megapixel camera, and of course USB-C and the action button, I do think the price is going to go up. It currently sells at $429, which is a slight price increase over the SE2. And I would bet almost anything that $449 or $479 will be the new price for this phone. And frankly, I think it will be worth it. $429 for the current SE3 is just such a weird offering for me because the battery alone is just so bad. It's impossible for me to recommend that to anybody that doesn't only use their phone for phone calls, because for anything else, it will not really get you through a day in 2023. But this new phone, with everything Apple's doing, even if it was $479, I still think that would be just a ridiculous value because you're getting iOS on here. I think all of these reports have been incredibly exciting, and I cannot wait for this phone to release. I, of course, will keep you guys updated as we hear more. I haven't seen many people talking about this phone and how big of a deal it's going to be, what it is. This is not just another SE. This is an entirely new phone from Apple that looks like the old one, but has some really unique features that make it compelling. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video or you learned something new. If you did, it does seriously help me out if you drop a like down below. And of course, subscribe so you stay up to date on everything Apple is up to. I've been Sam. I hope you're doing well, and I'll catch you on the flippity flop. Bye-bye.